Today, we take a closer look at Rosemead, a new film written by Taiwanese-American screenwriter Marilyn Fu. Inspired by a true story from a Los Angeles Times article, the movie explores themes of motherhood, mental illnesses, and the immigrant experience. Rosemead has already been acclaimed at various film festivals and has earned Fu a Golden Horse Award nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay. FTV reporter Stephany Yang sat down with Fu to find out more.
Just because of your hair, Chinese face, is not mean you're understanding us.
The new film Rosemead tells the story of Irene, a terminally ill Chinese immigrant mother in California's San Gabriel Valley. She's portrayed by Lucy Liu. She uncovers her schizophrenic teenage son's obsession with mass shootings and finds ways to protect her son from hurting others. The film was inspired by her true story in an award-winning Los Angeles Times article by Frank Shyong.
So the whole movie is about what she is willing to do to protect her son and the limits of her love. And it turns out that there are no limits to her love. Rosemead is based on a true story that happened in 2015. And LA Times journalist Frank Shyong knew about the story, was able, through his persistence, to gain the trust of the living people and created this article that has just been so moving. So the article came to me and I couldn't put it down. I was at a point in my life where I really wanted to write a starring role for an Asian woman. And so when Lucy Liu was interested in playing Irene and really embraced that role, it was like the stars aligned.
For Fu, the project was deeply personal. She began writing while pregnant with twin boys, and the themes of motherhood resonated strongly.
When I first wrote the script, I was pregnant with my sons. And so I didn't have much hands-on experience, none at all, with being a mother. And I think that a lot of what I put into the script was from my own mom and her relationship with me and my family. Now when I watch the film, I see so many more things that break my heart because now they really resonate now that my sons are 6 years old. There is one part of the Chinese translation between Irene and Joe, between mother and son, and it's a moment when Irene says, "我疼你." And when I think about this translation, I know that there is tongue and that there is I, and that there isn't really an English translation for tongue. It has a specific meaning that is specific to our language, and the root of it means pain. And so when I discovered that it's a love that makes you hurt, perhaps physically, then that made me think about motherhood in a whole other way and look at the movie differently.
The film took 8 years to make and tackles sensitive topics and themes such as mental illness, the immigrant struggle, and family. Fu says accuracy and empathy were essential in her writing process.
With Rosemead, it's based on a true story, and it's a difficult story. It's very challenging, and the people involved, Irene and Joe, along with their families, really suffered through this tragedy. And so for me, my responsibility is also to them. I don't want to hurt any of the living people. I want to be able to tell the story in a way that elevates and brings it to an audience that can have impact. And so I'm sort of like an investigator, and I'm going through Frank Shyong's original article and cherry picking the details of these people and trying to draw a portrait of them.
Rosemead has already been recognized at film festivals and earned Fu a Golden Horse Award nomination. She says the film's themes resonate far beyond the Asian American community.
Our experience of taking the film around to film festivals has been very emotional. And what we found is that although we were telling the story about a Chinese immigrant family and Asian Americans living in the San Gabriel Valley, we found that the themes really crossed cultural borders, and that there were many people who understood this film, whether they're caregivers who are taking care of somebody with mental illness, or if they are someone who has something that they're dealing with throughout their whole lives. They wanted to talk with us after the screenings. They wanted to express what they were going through and just connect.
你听妈咪遇到什么不合理的，你要仔细想一想。
Fu hopes Rosemead will spark a broader movement, expanding Asian representation in cinema while confronting stigmatized issues such as mental illness and the immigrant experience.
A lot of the people together, even on the filmmaking side of the movie, is experiences of being unable to talk about sort of experiences with their family and experiences with mental illness. And we want with the film to be able to draw people out, to start those conversations, to expel this undercurrent of shame that might exist so that there's more healing that can happen.
Fu also hopes audiences will not only be moved by the film, but also inspired to share their own stories. FTV reporter Stephany Yang and Yang in Taipei.